Liverpool's plans for the remainder of the transfer window may have been given a timely lift, with fresh reporting adding a new layer of intrigue to one of the club's most closely watched pursuits. With uncertainty surrounding several areas of Arne Slot's squad and key decisions still to be made behind the scenes, developments like this have the potential to shift both priorities and timelines. Sky Sports' latest update has only fueled speculation, hinting at movement that could have meaningful implications for Liverpool's strategy as the window unfolds. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the other Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. But first, Conor Bradley was stretched off with a knee injury at Arsenal, and Arne Slot admitted that he fears the worst for his right back. Liverpool's right back had started to string together a run of starts, with the trip to Arsenal his third in a row, but he did not see the final whistle out on the pitch. After chasing down a ball and seeking to kick it out of play, Bradley, under no contact, clutched at his left knee and had to be stretchered off, visibly distraught. While Slot fronted the media soon after the match, there was a brief update offered to reporters on the Northern Irishman, and he is left fearing the worst, which would be a season-ending ACL tear. To Sky Sports, he said, "I'm afraid that another injury has come up today. Let's hope for the best, but I fear the worst for Conor Bradley." And in his press conference, he reiterated the point, saying, "It doesn't look great if he has the injury, which we fear he might have. It didn't look great if you have to go off on a stretcher, and I think when we see the video, we both probably think the same, but we have to wait on the scans if it's that bad. Or if he can play on Monday, let's hope so." It would certainly be optimistic if Bradley was to play again in the short term, let alone in the FA Cup on Monday, but Liverpool will anxiously be awaiting the result of his scans. The injury to Bradley alone was tough to watch, but Gabriel Martinelli had blood boiling as he threw the ball at the number 12 before attempting to shove him off the pitch, despite the clear severity of the injury. He was fortunate Liverpool players showed restraint, with only Ibrahima Konate shown a yellow card after one for Martinelli having reacted to the Brazilian's disgusting actions. Slot has been without both of his right backs throughout the season already, requiring others to step in, including Dominic Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones. If Bradley's injury is as serious as it appeared, losing a defensive option could prompt action in the January transfer window, and Liverpool supporters will argue it should. Joe Gomez will be required as right back cover, in addition to centre back, and with his and Jeremy Frimpong's injury history this season, it is a dangerous game to play to leave options so slim. Now, Liverpool's long-standing interest in Marc Guehi has re-emerged at a moment when circumstances at Anfield appear to be shifting rapidly in the centre-back market. The England international is now expected to be available during the January window for a fee lower than the £35 million Liverpool had agreed with Crystal Palace in September, a development that significantly alters the landscape around a deal that once seemed destined for the summer. Palace, facing the prospect of losing Guehi for nothing when his contract expires at the end of the season, are understood to be increasingly open to a cut-price sale rather than risking no return at all. That possibility has taken on added significance for Liverpool following Thursday night's 0-0 draw with Arsenal, which brought fresh defensive concerns. Conor Bradley's injury, feared to be a serious knee or ankle issue, threatens to sideline another member of Arne Slot's defensive unit for an extended period. With Giovanni Leone already ruled out long-term, the knock-on effect is clear. Joe Gomez is now likely to be required more frequently at right back, further thinning Liverpool's centre-back options. It is within that context that Guehi's name has returned to the forefront. Liverpool's need for defensive reinforcements has become more acute, not only in terms of depth, but also in maintaining balance across the back line. Sky Sports reported on Friday morning that Crystal Palace are anticipating an approach from the champions this month and would be prepared to sell the 25-year-old for less than the previously agreed £35 million fee. That represents a notable shift from the end of the summer window, when Palace dramatically pulled out of a deal in the final hour, despite Liverpool agreeing a package that also included a 10% sell-on clause. At the time, the expectation was that Liverpool would revisit the move at the end of the season, when Guehi could be signed on a free transfer. However, developments since then, both at Anfield and across the wider market, may now force a reassessment. Interest from Manchester City, Arsenal, and Bayern Munich has intensified the pressure on Palace to act decisively, while Liverpool's internal situation has changed considerably. Bradley's injury has magnified the fragility of the squad's defensive cover. And with Gomez potentially redeployed on the right, the need for a reliable first-team ready centre-back becomes harder to ignore. The precise fee Palace would demand this month remains unclear, but there is little doubt the South London club would still seek to maximise value despite the looming contract expiry. No formal offers have yet been submitted, and it is maintained that no final decision has been made on Guehi's future. Even so, the sense that a January move is now firmly back on the table represents a major shift from the previously assumed timeline. From Liverpool's perspective, Guehi ticks several important boxes. He is a natural centre-back with Premier League pedigree, comfortable in possession and tactically intelligent, but also versatile enough to provide cover at right back or even in a defensive midfield role if required. At 25, he combines experience with long-term potential, making him an obvious candidate to eventually shoulder greater responsibility within the squad. That long-term view is particularly relevant given the uncertainty surrounding Ibrahima Konate's future beyond the current campaign, as well as the inevitable planning required around Virgil van Dijk's succession. Guehi's leadership qualities and calmness under pressure have been evident both at club level and on the international stage, qualities that would align well with Slot's evolving defensive structure. There is, however, an important personal dimension to consider. With a World Cup approaching in the summer, Guehi will be acutely aware of the need for regular football. Any January move would likely hinge on assurances over his role, and Liverpool's current defensive issues mean Slot could realistically offer him immediate and consistent involvement. As things stand, no outcome is imminent. Palace remain open to negotiation, Liverpool are weighing necessity against opportunity, and competition from elite European clubs adds an extra layer of complexity. But with the player now potentially available for a reduced fee, and Liverpool's defensive needs becoming harder to overlook, the coming weeks could prove decisive in determining whether a deal that once slipped away finally gets over the line. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. We post all the latest Liverpool news every day, so join our fast-growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.